Joe Biden's poll numbers are in free fall, from Afghanistan to the border, to the economy and inflation, to the pandemic. Joe Biden is failing America, and Americans know it. Joining me now to discuss is the editor-in-chief of TrishIntel.com and the host of The Trish Regan Show, Trish Regan herself, along with political analyst and host of Mark Halperin's Focus Group, which you can catch right here on Newsmax on the weekend. Mark Halperin. Happy New Year to you both. Mr. Halperin, we begin with you. Biden's many crises, including inflation, really hurting everyday Americans. That's led to a new poll from CNBC. It shows whopping 60% disapprove of Biden's handling of the economy, 55% disapprove of Biden's handling of the pandemic, 56% disapprove of the job he's doing in the White House. That's a record high in the left-wing CNBC poll. Question: what impact does this have on Joe Biden's party in the midterms?
Happy New Year to you both. History suggests this will not be a good midterm for the Democrats if Joe Biden can't get that number back up. And right now, it doesn't look like he's doing much to get the numbers back up. All the things that have contributed to that poll number, those poll numbers, projection of weakness, failure to deal with the border crisis, failure to deal with the pandemic effectively, failure to deal with inflation effectively, Afghanistan, all those things are on the same trajectory as they've been on, for the most part, that led to these numbers.
Trish, a record 4.5 million Americans quit their jobs in November. New York Times reporting that 83% of American workers are saying their paychecks are not keeping pace with Mr. Biden and his political party's inflation. Hasn't Joe Biden and the Democrat socialists, haven't they lost control of the pandemic and the economy, in your view?
For sure. I mean, they've completely lost control of both. I think that's pretty evident. He was going to be the president that was going to, fix this virus, stop the virus. That hasn't happened. He said he was going to help get our economy back on track. That clearly hasn't happened, given what's going on with inflation. So I think voters naturally feel like they've kind of been had, right, Chris? I mean, they signed up for one thing and they got something else. So people that voted for Joe Biden, a lot of them, and you remember I kept saying, focus on the policy itself, because you could wind up in a situation with a very poor economy where people are going to be pretty upset. And that's exactly where we are. So I think people thought, oh, I'll vote for him. He seems like a nice guy. We can get away from some of this drama. And yet here we are right back smack in the middle of all this drama. And we've got a bad economy to boot.
Yeah, the moderate that governs like a socialist. Mark, I want to turn to tomorrow's January 6th, one-year anniversary. Former President Donald Trump announcing yesterday his decision to cancel his press conference. This decision was encouraged, we're told, by Lindsey Graham, who told Trump, quote, there could be peril in doing the news conference and that it was a bad idea. And Mark, I thought this was kind of a big mistake by President Trump, because he is now going to allow his enemies, and I'd argue enemies of America, to define his role in that day. Am I wrong, or is Lindsey Graham wrong in your view?
I don't think tomorrow is going to define any aspect of January 6th in a meaningful way. I think the Democrats plan to use the day to talk amongst themselves and frame it in their way. I think some Republicans will do the same. But I think President Trump, the advice he got, I think was good for the country. I think it was good for his party. Most people in the party in elected office want to move on from the events of a year ago. And when the Democratic Republican Party is talking about issues, polls suggest they're going to do better. So I don't think he's in any peril from having canceled that. He'll have plenty of time to speak out. But I think tomorrow, while a big day for some, is just one part of the story and the storytelling that'll continue.
The socialists want to erect a monument for the insurrection that wasn't. Trish, ahead of tomorrow's anniversary, Twitter announced they're creating a cross-functional working group featuring members of their site's integrity, trust, and safety team. They're going to be looking out for any what they classify as risks, such as tweets and accounts that incite violence. In my view, Trish, I want to see if you agree with me. Isn't this just Twitter silencing anybody who doesn't say January 6th was all Trump's fault?
Yes, of course. I mean, I'm so sick and tired of this, woke big tech nonsense where they think everybody has to agree with them. If you don't, you're kicked off the platform. I'm all about having freedom of choice in terms of, it being an independent business and all that. But let's not forget that whole, and you and I have been through it many times, Chris, Section 230 and the benefits that they get from that. Listen, guys, you can't have it both ways. If you want to be the town square, you got to be the town square. Everybody has a right to speak. And for you to be able to decide, and your little group of professorial types, academic types out there deciding what's allowed, what's not allowed, I'm sorry, that's just wrong. Especially when we're in a situation where the Ayatollah gets to tweet, but the former president doesn't. I mean, it's all messed up. And I have a feeling people won't be seeing many of my tweets or your tweets or any conservatives' tweets, or independents for that matter.
Okay.
Anybody who thinks differently than what they want you to think right now. And that's a shame.
All right, give me 20 seconds apiece, because I've been dying to ask this question. Do you think, given everything that's been happening, all the censorship and stuff with the big tech folks, Facebook, YouTube, Google, Twitter, do you think that their monopoly is about ready to end? About 20 seconds. Mark Halperin.
It should. This is a case where government needs to intercede in the private sector because these companies are not acting in the public interest. I don't think it will. Members of Congress of both parties don't have the intelligence or the firepower to get this done, unfortunately.
Trish, do you think that the monopoly of left-wing big tech is nearly at an end?
No, I think it's just getting started, and it's a really dangerous moment for all of us. Mark is positively right. They don't have the firepower, they don't have the brains, and frankly, they're all way too vested in this, right? As soon as Twitter or Facebook or any of them give them the A-OK, they get that platform back. They're out able to reach their audience, and they, suddenly don't care about the issue anymore. It is really important, I think, for the for our democracy, for our freedom as a nation, that we allow that First Amendment to be exercised in its full way every single day.
Amen. Amen. Trish Regan and Mark Halperin, guys, great to visit with you.